All right, we're doing the World Cup preview between England and Wales. Yeah, that's right. We're swapping sports. We're on the football. We're in World Cup fever. We've all been watching every game together, haven't we? We've watched many games together. It's England v Wales, the 104th meeting between the two of them. It's the first one in the World Cup finals. Lads, where have you got it?
Well, I'll go first. Craig's just checking his team selection. After the disappointing performance the other night, when I was convinced England would kick on from the first game and go on to win that game, I think that now Wales will feel the wrath. I'd like to think England are going to come out and play a different approach and not be. I really hope they're not going to be too content with passing that ball around the back line for 89 minutes of the game and actually try and break them down and a bit more attacking. But as part of that, I really want to see Foden involved. I think he's going to be key. And if they do what I hope, I'm thinking it should be I'm going 2-0 England if they do what I think they will.
I think you've covered all the topics.
Early prediction.
Yeah, you've covered all the topics in one conversation there, Jim. Dad, where have you got it? Obviously, I think you've got some strong views on the matter.
Yeah, listen, after the opening game, I thought a bit like England Rugby League. I thought we've got, the energy. We finally found two midfielders, in my opinion, in Bellingham and my favourite player in the world, Declan Rice. And I thought we found the recipe to have them two holding up, but energy to go everywhere. And then we had Sterling and Saka coming in and kept Harry central. It was actually proved the second game when the USA, who, by the way, please, again, this is a bit like Smower again, please don't take enough away from what the USA did. Yeah. Sorry, the USA were fantastic.
Yeah, pressing. Yeah.
They got a game plan. They stuck to it against Wales. What changed the game against Wales? What people don't, if they watched it, last 20 minutes or 25 minutes, they brought the centre forward on.
Kiefer Moore.
Who changed everything? Because what he did, he started holding the ball up and he gave his people time to come up and he started playing. Suddenly they were getting numbers in box. We never did that. We never did that in the last one. I looked at Harry. Harry looked absolutely knackered. Absolutely, that 20 minutes, that job. I'm going to challenge Gareth Southgate because I'm looking and thinking, we didn't need him on. We need Harry for when it matters. Ratchford looks like he's full of energy. He's back of a little bit of form at Man U. The Ronaldo thing's enabled him to come out. Marcus looks like he's on fire. Get him on there now when we can. Save Harry for when you think it. So for me, and I'm even going to do, this will be a big call when I'm going to do it when we name the teams. I'm changing loads of things. I'm going with energy and Gareth, as a whole, is very loyal. This team is built up on a team of 6 years ago, which he's been involved with. Been involved with some of these players since they were 16 years old. And he said, if I get to this position, I will build a team. And I actually admire that. You're an arrogant lad, Gareth. We actually admire that. You got it wrong last round. You got too many players who... Them two lads in midfield were knackered. Sterling were ineffective. The Arsenal right winger. Saka. Totally ineffective. Harry, we got outplayed, we got out energised, and we were very lucky we didn't come away with it. We very lucky. I believe if they'd have believed a bit more USA, they'd have beat us. The kid who I love USA, that lad who just drops him to out front too, who had the shot and nearly scored. He wasn't involved till about half an hour. I think they were thinking, these are not as good as we thought, and they were building on confidence. So, listen, we've never played Wales in a finals.
No.
So it's going to be historic. Wales have got a good approach to this. It's either in or you're out. Yeah. They're either going to go for it like you've never seen, which ultimately should put England in a good position to counter-attack. Yeah. So you'd think that Southgate would say, listen, bring them on to you, let them come, they've got to attack. No way is Southgate setting us up to start attacking it first 10 minutes. It's not going to happen. No. He'll sit there and say, listen, we don't have to do anything. Gareth is a very, very steady, as in a coach. He looks always. His interview after USA were unbelievable. Everything's all right.
They all were though. Yeah. All three of them.
We're top of group.
It was a prepared interview.
We're top of group. What's the matter with Harry? Everything. Judges after this round. Yeah. Very cool thing to do. Wales are going to come. We'll hit them on counter. Play a lot of pace up front. get the legs in. If you're going to rest Harry, rest him for this game. This is my big point. We'll go for him. I'm sure we're going to go for it from the goalkeeper onwards. So if you go through that, I'd like to put some opinions.
Yeah. Well, obviously I'm not as knowledgeable as other sports, but I've watched, I can proudly say I've watched pretty much every game. I think I've missed one game when we were doing our NFL show last night, and apparently I've missed the Spain-Germany game, which is one of the most fun games to watch. So I'm devastated about that, but I've watched every single other game. I'm quite proud of myself on this one. And USA provide more energy than any other team I've watched in the World Cup. So I'll give them all the credit, all the way. They look one of the most impressive teams. They struggle with the goal scoring, obviously, but they're one of the most impressive teams I've watched for fitness, energy, confidence, all the things that make USA USA. They came to the party. Twitter were going mental. They were slaughtering us. You get back the famous
still
one.
never beaten them, haven't we? Never beaten them.
Still never beat them. They were joking about 200 Civil War jokes on the old Twitter. So fair play USA. Looking at this Wales matchup, we can go through the teams, lads. We'll get both your opinions on all their positions here. Keeper, I've got a predicted lineup here. They've got Jordan Pickford. I can't imagine that changing, lads, but let's see if you're confident to
move on.
Move on. Right back, the big conversation. I think the big debates at right back, we've got too many of them, probably. I think the big three, we've got Kyle Walker, we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, and we've got, who played so far, Kieran Trippier. Lads, who are your picks?
Well, it's a tricky one for me because it's that thing, isn't it? We're in this situation, and if we liken it to the World Cup, it's so similar to Sean Wayne and Gareth Southgate. Such similar approaches with having their team, trusting their team, not wanting to make many changes. Will he risk changing the back four in this game? I don't think he will, because...
You okay, Dad?
It was just
incredible again.
I think if he was thinking that, perhaps he would have given Kyle Walker a bit of game time in the last game, and he didn't bring him on, did he? Obviously, when it's 0-0, it's arguably very bold to change your defence, and he might want to keep it the same. I don't keep him changing it. I quite like Trippier. I've never been Kyle Walker's biggest fan, I'll be honest. I've never been his biggest fan. Athletically, unbelievable. But I'm happy with Trippier, so I'll keep it as simple as that, because I know Craig's got another big opinion on this one.
Well, I'm 100%. I'm going to play Trent Alexander. I want some fresh legs in mine. I want to go into this game with a fresh outlook. I'm probably thinking past this game, because it'd be an absolute tragedy if we got beat 4-0. And if we do, we deserve to go out. Let's all be honest. If we do get beat 4-0, bon voyage, you deserve everything you get. So I've got a back four. I'm going to go for a back four here, if you don't mind. So I'm going to go Trent Alexander-Arnold for his crossing ability. They all said he can't defend. We'll get plenty of chances to attack here. Wales going to bring it on. Trent getting that ball delivered in early. He's the best cross-rug ball in the world, you would say, from a right-back position. I'm not a back from wing, but where he plays. Yeah. Great athlete. He has got better in defence. Steph's a big fan of his, we know that. But he has got better. She keeps telling me, Dad, he's got better. Look how much he's covering ground. He can certainly play football as well, and he's a great athlete. I've got to keep Maguire and Stones, because I've got to get that partnership. He trusts that partnership, and I think Harry only played one game. I think it lasts 3 months for league, for Man U, whatever the stat is. He needs to play his way in. If you're going to rest anybody, rest Stones. But Stones you probably need him there just to keep going. But Maguire's got to play. He's got to play his way in. There's probably another 20% in Harry that we need out of him. Left back, this is a real tough one for me, because I love Luke Shaw. Right. And I think he's another player who needs to play regularly, because he puts half a stone on between games. You know what I mean? He's a bit like me in the day. If you didn't play games, you do. You carry a bit. You do. You've got it. So Luke Shaw has got to be playing ball. I wouldn't mind giving somebody else a go there. Now, I don't know what the options are to put a left back in. Can you put Trippier over there? Could you put, somebody else over there? I think Trippier can play both feet the same. But I'm going to have to go with Luke Shaw, purely on the basis I'm scared to not let him play, because
my issue with Luke Shaw is he reminds me of when I always used to play left wing, and when you have a left back behind you who likes it to be about them too much.
Yeah.
That's my worry with Luke Shaw. I think he's always looking for it to be about him. That's how I view him. He's always looking.
You want a Winterburn type, the old school left
I
back.
want a left back who gives me the ball.
Yeah.
I want him. Yeah. I want a left back to feed our left winger.
Yeah.
Let the midfield play football.
Yep.
Not look straight up. Can I do a 60-yard crossfield ball so everyone goes? And that's my worry with him. But again, I'm not sure who we have got who can. If Trippier can slip over there with no issues at all, I don't mind that.
Well, we've got Ben. What they're saying, we've got Ben White. What position does Ben White play? Could he cover at left back?
I don't know.
I think so. I think he's an
You
option.
said I don't think so. So
I think so.
I'll stick with that 4.
Yeah.
As my 4. So only one thing I've got is Trent in, and I'm resting Trippier.
Resting Trippier. Then we've got the midfield. I think the past few games he's been playing a 4 of Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham. He's been playing Raheem Sterling on the right-hand side and Bukayo Saka on the left-hand side, with Mason Mount being a man roaming in the middle. Would you change, lads, or are you happy with your midfield?
I'm going with 5.
5, so a completely new.
I'm going 5-4-1, and the reason I'll tell you I'm going 5-4-1.
Because he's been doing 4-3-3.
He has. But I'm going to go 5, and here's just a little stat for you. England have won 68 of the last. Wales have won 14 of the last game, so again, historically we're well favourites to win this. To get beat 4-0, we can try a little bit something else. So the reason I want it is I'm going to find a way. I want Foden in.
I do.
I've got to have Foden in, so I'm going to play Foden. It's not my floater, but I'm going to play Foden on the right. I'm resting Jude, which is another big call. I'm going to play Declan and Jordan Henderson. So I've got Jordan Henderson, Declan, Phil Foden. I'm playing Grealish, and I'm even. This is a big call, so I'm only going with one up front, which I'm going to leave to after this. I'm probably going to go with. I'm going to give maybe Calvin Phillips a run. I'm not going Conor Gallagher. He's a little bit more attacking. I quite like Conor Gallagher, but he never seems to beat a man. So I'm probably going with a stable 3 in the middle, which will be Declan, Henderson, and Calvin, and then I'm going to go with Grealish and Phil Foden out wide.
Yeah.
And then I've got one player up front.
Marcus.
Which is Marcus. And I don't want and I've got Marcus to work everything I want. Them 5 will give me enough chances. And I want the players that to push on it. I want to see more of Grealish. Do you know what?
Yeah,
I'm going to challenge.
100%.
I'm going to challenge Jack here. But Steve, my mate, absolutely thinks he's the best thing. Should have gone to Man U. Crazy, can't believe it. He starts the dinner, but he don't finish it. He leaves you wanting more every time. Cuts in the most tackled player ever in Premier League. Fouled. Yeah. That's because he plays on
draws it. Yeah.
He's got a right foot. He plays left, and he draws the tackle, and he does it. But how many actually? I bet you they must be devastated with how many assists he gets. How many goals? He's got about 4 goals a year. His assists actually are not near what the stats are. But he does get fouled a lot, and he does get you. If you're wanting set pieces, you play Jack. Exactly. You're probably going to get 10, 12 free kicks in a game where Jack's through the thing. But for me, just never delivers. Listen, I'm lucky enough, and if you're watching, to see him playing his pond at the Gaza. And that was end result. That was what somebody Gaza could hit. He could tackle you. He could hit 40. Steve Bull on his debut, 45-yard outside at foot, delivered, Bull top corner. Gaza could score you goals. Yeah. He could make goals. Yeah. Steven Gerrard, historically, Frank, we've had some of their things. I'm not putting Jack in anywhere near this yet, and I'm going to challenge somebody else, even though he's a youngster. Pep and quite a few of the best judges of all time say Foden's one of the best youngsters I've ever seen.
Yeah, totally.
Let him loose then.
Yeah.
Let's see Foden loose. Come on. If Gary Neville quoted, "This is the best." They're saying this kid is this. Well, we saw Wayne Rooney at 17, 18 deliver on the world stage. We were looking to see Michael Owen at 17 score 2 against Argentina, 40-yard. Unbelievable impact on the World Cup. Listen, this might sometimes in life, sometimes this could be his pom. Michael Owen and Rooney's best World Cups were at 17, 18-year-old. They never got any better. That was their peak. Rooney said that I was at my peak. I had no fear in all the player. Michael Owen scored 49 goals, but he'll tell you the best time of his life for that first World Cup. Yeah. Don't be scared of putting this kid in and seeing what he can do. And do you know what? If he don't play him this round, we're into knockout.
I know.
So this is your only chance to play players, without a doubt. I want to get in case Bellingham gets injured or Declan, I want to give Calvin a run. I want to give Henderson a bit of a run. Henderson got a run last time off the bench. And as I say, the only person I wouldn't involve in it and not knock him, like, because I've been following his career from Norwich, Conor Gallagher, but he's not there for me yet. And I'm resting Harry. Harry looked absolutely on his feet. Harry, take a week off. We think the world of you. You're our Alan Shearer. You're the one we think can deliver in the big game.
He's the main man, no doubt about it.
Raheem, I don't feel guilty one bit.
No.
Saka, I do. I'm dropping Saka, so I do feel a little bit guilty on him. But I'm not. I need to get some other games in. There's probably going to be another 5-6 changes once knockout comes, because you'll get injuries, lack of form, whatever. So we need to make sure we get the others a game. Marcus Rashford looks as sharp as I've ever seen him. Yeah. Where he's running, his energy. Marcus Rashford for the last 15 months at Man U has looked like he's got the world on his shoulders. He looks like he's playing with a sack on his, and I tell you what, he don't look like that now. He's starting to look like that absolute world star that's coming. I think the Ronaldo thing might have helped him, and all might have said, listen, you're now
Step up, yeah.
You're now the star again.
Like the shadow.
That's my team, so I'm going 4-5-1.
Yeah, all right.
And I'm going to counter-attack. I'm going to say to Wales, you've got to beat us. Wales are not very good at keeping ball. They used to like slinging it up there with Gareth Bale getting a free kick, or this centre forward, or the lad's bit of energy. They want it to be a battle. If I were England, I'd just sit back. So listen, bring them on to you, and we'll hit them like you've never seen.
Yeah, I like it. I'm going to say what I'd like to see. I do think that Southgate will make at the most one or two at the most, and possibly just one change. Yeah, going back to what you said, I think since Gaza, for me, there's only been Rooney, who I view as being world class, like proper footballer who can mix it with some of the other international superstars. Since him, I love what Harry Kane does. I thought in the last tournament, I thought he was head and shoulders our best player. I think he's just class. I think if we had 2 or 3 of him, I'd have us favourites as the tournament. We've only got Kane
above Shearer in the pot.
Yeah. But
that's outrageous.
But not as an out-and-out goal scorer, but as a more complete player.
What about Gary Lineker in his palm?
I'm on about.
Lineker were very good, but I'm on about.
I watched
for me,
the BBC show.
Oh, we're awesome.
Lineker
was a lethal goal scorer, lethal pace, lethal goal scorer.
Yeah.
But Lineker did, as like Owen before him, were a finisher. There wasn't much else. Shearer did play unbelievable, a bit like Harry.
He did, but for me, I'm saying.
And then Shearer's better in the air than Harry will ever be.
Yeah. As a goal scorer out and out for Lineker, different. But I'm talking about in more recent times. I think Kane has been a real. I think he's brilliant. I think he's holding up the ball, dropping into midfield, distributing. I just think he's immense. For that reason, I'm not giving him a rest. I want Harry to get his goal. If he only plays half a game, that's fine. But I'm going to start him. I want him to get his goal, make sure he seems confident.
So you play 2 up front,
cool. To start with, I'm just having Harry there in the middle up front. But as soon as I feel he's done a bit, I agree with you. Let's get Rashford on. Let's give Rashford at least a half. I'm having Grealish and I'm having Foden in.
So
I'm going to
Foden on your right, Grealish on your left.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yeah,
I'm going to add those 3 because what I was coming on to before we got into the olden days, I think Foden is now undoubtedly the next. Everything that everyone says about him, everything in my humble opinion, he is the real deal. So he's got to be playing. I can't believe he didn't get on in the last game. I know some people like Henderson for different reasons. Henderson and Sterling, not for me. Never have been, and I don't want him in. It's simple as that. I think we've got far better.
Everton fan, Jim. Yeah,
well, none of them play for Everton, do they?
Yeah, exactly.
It's nothing to do with that. Yeah, I still don't like him. I didn't like him at City. So, I think we've got far better options than both of them.
So, what's your midfield 3 then?
So I'm going to stick because I do think that I don't think that
they played this safe, Jim.
Well,
we haven't aimed him yet.
Yeah, I'm
sticking with the 3.
Sticking with the 3.
Who's the 3?
Bellingham. I think that his first game, everyone was getting really excited about, but I don't think Bellingham had a great game last game. In fact, it was a massive damp squib because we'd built him up like so exciting. So I want him to have a good game.
Yeah.
I want Mount, who had a bad game, to bounce back. Declan Rice is rock solid at what he does. I want them three to have big games. It can change them once we've started. We get 1 or 2-0 up. So yeah, I'm going. I'm
them three
still
4-3.
Still 4-3.
Foden, Grealish.
Oh, you bring Grealish.
Still 4-3-3, but I'm having Foden and Grealish up there with Harry Kane, and I think what we didn't have in the last game, and I was bored senseless because we didn't have anyone trying to take anybody on. It was just pass it around and super patient. And I know they've come out and said, well, it's still a point, and you look, teams are losing games, etc. But I think we need that big performance. You know, the first game was brilliant, but we need another big performance before we get into the knockout. And for me, what I'm picking there is what I think is England's best team. That's how I'd do it all the time. I think we want the excitement of Grealish winning free kicks, set pieces. We're good from set pieces with old Slav Ed Maguire and Harry Kane up there. And I want Foden on because I think he is the bee's knees. He knows how to break down teams in the Premier League. He'll do that for England. I've no question about it.
Isn't it interesting how you'd have been taught as a kid? You've got Grealish, who's right foot on the left wing. You've got Foden, who's left foot on the right wing. It's incredible, isn't it? You've got two lads come inside.
That's Pep,
but I think that's that cutting inside to use Harry Kane.
But in our day, you'd have to go, you'd say outside your defender.
Yeah, knock it in. But I think that Harry Kane to feet is a better way to do it anyway. And them two going themselves. So if we pick that team, and you know, and I do think he's going to put Foden in. Sterling, like I say, not for me. I think his decision making is atrocious. I think his final product is atrocious, and I know he's obviously brilliant because he's had a great career and he's done well, but when it comes to it, when you need to be clinical, I don't want him. I don't want him anywhere near it.
We went, me, Joe and Steph were lucky to go to Wembley last year to watch England, and we had a perception of players. Foden had a nightmare that night. If you remember, Joe, Foden kept coming inside and they couldn't do anything. Sterling that night was not just class, he was world class. Kane obviously were very good. When he banged up Sterling, well, the one, they were getting it into him and he was just slipping mark because his speed of Mark was ridiculous. He's not in my team as well, but that night we watched it, Grealish and Foden looked way off. At that, Henderson were fabulous. Remember, Joe, Henderson were all over the pitch. We're knocking.
Kane were our man of the match.
What?
Kane was, wasn't he?
Yeah, Kane, yeah.
He always is so good.
But listen, we've got a free shot.
Yeah.
Surely, if we're going to get beat 4-0 not to get through, I mean, Sam, Joe, I'll shoot. If we win the group, which we're odds on to do, who do we get?
I'm the wrong person
Sam
to ask.
Put that up.
I did predict it. Our side of a draw, it's where you want to be, and I think even, I can't remember who it is, but our next game, if we win the group, it's as good as you could wish for. You know, in theory, it's, in terms of rankings, and there's no easy games and all that. But
no, but it gets us right along with the chance. We want to be winning this game. We don't want any excuses at all, do we?
Well, it depends on the
what's
group,
happening in the other group. But I think we've got to go out there and try and win it, and not just that. Those interviews after the game, last game, they're being pre-prepared what to say if it's a draw, because Harry Maguire and Kane gave the same interview. It was almost word for word, and sounds like Southgate did. So they know what to say, but they didn't want to draw that game. No, you know, and America were brilliant, but we should be beating America. If I honestly think if the way America played with that aggressive, energetic forward press, don't just keep passing it along between Harry Kane and Harry Maguire and Stones. Pass the ball between. I was like, what? Just launch it. Do the old good fashioned. Just turn them around and get into them areas.
That's what Wales did. That's what Wales did, but that's an forward.
So we're set to top. If we top Group B as we want them to do, we'll play the runners-up of Group A in the round of 16. That's between 3 teams. I think I know it's between Netherlands, Senegal, or Ecuador. So you presume Netherlands will win the group. So it's between.
They were my tip before it. Their preparation going into the World Cup was insane, and they've just not done anything. They've not been impressive.
I just don't think they have that mega-star striker, do they? The Memphis Depay's really out of form. I think they
They've
require
got that Gakpo, he's their main man, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's young and
he's got a couple of goals.
So you most likely got Senegal or Ecuador.
Yeah. I think they play each other and it's whoever wins it, is it?
That could be tonight, that.
Yeah, so it's...
Qatar's the other two, that group.
Yeah, Qatar are out because they've lost 2,
so if we win that,
out.
then we go through to the quarters?
Yeah.
16.
16, wow. 16
of next day. Against one of those. So our run is...
So if we make it to the quarterfinals, obviously there's no guarantees, so we're probably up against someone, first name on the list, Argentina, Mexico, Poland, are the names that they've chucked out.
I thought we dodged Argentina.
Oh no, sorry, that means they are likely to face France, who are currently top Group D, but they could also come up against one of Argentina, Mexico, Poland, or even Saudi Arabia.
The two teams you don't want at the moment, in my opinion, what I've saw so far, the runners and riders, the two teams I think have got France.
And Brazil.
Well, I'm on Spain. I think they will think... Everyone wrote Germany off yesterday. They were trading it like 40-1 to it because they were 1-0 down, and then like 20 minutes they were fabulous. They started to like ping. I wouldn't want France at the moment. That'd be a no-go for me. I get it, but I watched the lad who scored 2 of the day play for Everton, the centre forward, and I've watched him play for Chelsea. Not Chelsea, where he is now. Spurs.
Yeah, for Brazil, yeah.
And I'm all right with that. I don't think he gets that space against us.
Yeah.
I think John Stones will say, listen, give me him. Yeah. And I've marked him 9 times, and we'll see whether he gets a kick against me. I don't think I'm bothered about him. Yeah. And Brazil don't offer, in my opinion, there won't be much else coming. I think we can handle it. So if there's one team, we can do it. I think my score prediction is England 4, Wales 0.
Right.
I think they'll absolutely explode on them. They'll hit them on break. It'll all be over by first half, and it'll all happen quick. Wales will pile everything in, and England will get an early goal, and they'll just be chasing. It'll be a nice score by England.
I'll stick with 2-0. I think that it'll be really slow and steady, and then we'll get one, and then we'll get a second one to seal it late on, and hopefully it's Kane and Rashford. I think that'll be the perfect if they can both get, one first goal for Kane and a second.
I think you're forgetting who our coaches, lads. I've got Gareth Southgate
to see out a 0-0 draw.
1-0. I think we get a second half goal that steadies the ship for us, and we steady it out.
Keep the ball.
So yeah, 1-0.
1-0, 2-0, 4-0.